In a statement, Emirates said all passengers were screened by local health authorities prior to disembarking. 3 passengers and 7 crew members were transferred to the hospital for further care, and 9 underwent additional medical screening at the site near the plane, then released.
This is a well-rehearsed scenario.
Dr. Robert Amler is an ex-chief medical officer at the Centers for Disease Control. He says this sounds like standard procedure. And while tests are being done to determine what illness people who experienced coughing and fever have, there were 521 people on board the flight. So when can the other, seemingly healthy people expect to be totally in the clear?
Typically, that will be a matter of days for a respiratory infection. It's usually not a very long period, but sometimes, again, depending on the circumstances on the plane, the types of illnesses they were seeing in the people who did get sick, they might be concerned about some longer incubation periods.
Dr. Amler says those released should have also been given follow-up instructions on what to look for. As for passengers on the plane,
asked the stewardess for a mask. She said that there were none on board.
But Dr. Amler says if not worn properly, the masks won't help. And also,
on a very long flight, you've got a long period of time in which to be exposed.
Legally speaking,
it would be unreasonable to ask an airline to provide a mask for over 500 passengers simply because one passenger suspects that somebody may be ill.
Erin Applebaum is an aviation attorney. She says as a passenger, you have a right to alert the airline if you see someone who looks sick.
As a passenger, you're never obligated to get on a plane, and you shouldn't do something that makes you feel unsafe, but the airline has no obligation to reimburse you for your ticket.
Well, the doctor says when you're in that kind of enclosed space, there really isn't much you can do to avoid other people. Legally, the attorney tells us there are 3 things they look for if a passenger becomes sick because another passenger had a communicable disease. Did the airline know that the passenger was sick when they boarded? If not, should they have known, and did they canvass the passengers properly as they boarded? If a passenger was sick midair, did the airline take the proper steps to address the problem when the plane landed?